Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Ins and Outs of Summer Rising 2025. My name is Liliana Diaz-Pedrosa. I am here with Kim Madden, who is our Director of Family Support. I direct the Parent Center at Advocates for Children. Kim is going to be taking questions in the Q&A. As I mentioned earlier in the non-recorded part, this presentation will be emailed to you guys and will be also available on our website. Okay. So today we're going to be going through Summer Rising, the application, transportation, information about specialized supports, and then finally, what if there is an issue? First, let me tell you about what Advocates for Children is and who we are. So Advocates for Children, for those of you who do not know us, is an independent agency that protects the rights of all New York City students. We are an education-centered parent center that serves all of New York City's 5 boroughs. We offer free services, including our helpline, which runs from Monday through Thursday, 10 to 4. We offer a ton of guides and resources on our website at advocatesforchildren.org, and we offer free workshops and trainings throughout the community, but also online, and free legal services to families of low income. Okay. So what is our helpline about? You can call our helpline, or you can also email us at info@advocatesforchildren.org to ask questions about anything from early childhood, how do I apply to 3K, pre-K, kindergarten, middle school, high school, what are graduation options? I have questions about suspensions or special education, or about summer rising, anything that has to do with New York City Public School. You can give us a call and we'll try to answer your questions and give you guidance. Okay. All right. Now, in New York City, there are 3 general kinds of summer options for students kindergarten through 8th grade. There is Summer Rising, which is a general program that is, I'll explain just a minute, a free general program that is offered for New York City residents. There's also mandated summer school for students who have received promotion endowed. And to that, you can add Summer Rising. There's also mandated extended school year programs for students who have recommendations on their individualized education program or IEP for extended school year for 12-month schooling, District 75 or ASD Nest and Horizon programs, for example. And then in addition to that, parents can add Summer Rising. All right. So what is Summer Rising? So Summer Rising is a partnership between the New York City Public Schools and the Department of Youth and Community Development, so DYCD. You might see that around these slides. Summer Rising is free. It's available for all New York City residents, whether you're in a private, public, or charter school. It is a full-day program. It is available for kindergarten through 8th grade, and it includes breakfast, lunch, and a snack. When I say full day, I mean in person Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And it is exclusively for students who are currently in kindergarten through 8th grade. Students in Summer Rising will have access to both academic and enrichment programming over the course of the day, including field trips, arts and activities, and outdoor recreation. So something like a summer camp in partnership with a CBO or community-based organization at one of the affiliated New York City public schools that will be hosting the program. A typical day for students in grades K through 8 will include a mix of academic supports, social emotional learning, enrichment activities. The morning part will include academics, which will be provided by licensed teachers, and other supports will be facilitated as well. Okay. So when is Summer Rising? Depending on the grades, you'll have different start and end dates. So for grades kindergarten through 5th, you'll have starting on July 2nd through August 15th, Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, extended day, if desired. And then from grades to 6 to 8, July 2nd through August 8th, Monday through Friday, 8 to 6 again, is the extended day. For 12-month IEP programs, so District 75 programs, students that have been recommended for 12-month services, The services begin on July 3rd and they continue through August 13th. So for these students, it is the mandated summer school program is 8 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon, plus the optional extended day for summer rising. So they would get their mandated services 8 to 2. And in addition to that, a family can opt in and apply to summer rising for the extended day option 3 to 6. For 12-month IEP programs, for extended school year, which is students who have IEPs who are receiving 12-month services in a community in a non-specialized school, District 1 through 32. The services begin July 2nd through August 12th. They will receive their mandated services Monday through Friday from 8 in the morning until 2:30, and then they get the additional extended day option if they so choose. And then for ASD Nest or Horizon students that have been mandated to receive such services for 12 months, services begin July 2nd and they continue through August 7th, Monday through Thursday, 8 to 12, plus the optional 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. extended day option. All right. Of course, there will be no services on the 4th of July. It's a federal holiday, so there'll be no summer rising or mandated services on that day. All right. So let me tell you about some important dates. And later on, I'll tell you how to apply. And we'll go through some of that process together. Okay. So first, applications are open as of right now. It is not first come, first serve. So families can apply anytime until March 28th in My Schools and the My School app that the Department of Education uses for these applications. On April 24th, you will see the results and waitlist also in your My Schools account. New this year, you have a deadline to accept the offer. You have to accept the offer. You have to affirmatively go and say, I want this placement by May 8th, or you will lose the seat. So you really must make sure that you accept an offer by that deadline so that you are guaranteed a seat. And it's important that you do so because Summer Rising is a program that the Department of Education has offered now for the last couple of years. It is not a universal program. And what I mean by that is that there are limited seats. So some students who apply may not actually get the seats to participate. And so it's really important if you do want to participate first that you apply and then that you accept the offer. If you're not interested in Summer Rising, or if you believe that you're not going to be using the whole summer program, then consider something else perhaps. Okay. So what does Summer Rising entail? So there's two parts of Summer Rising. So when we're talking about Summer Rising, we're talking about a general program. I'm not talking about the mandated special education programs. I will mention some information about that in just a minute. When we're talking about Summer Rising, we're talking about the Summer Rising program. In the morning, they have academics. So ELA, math, STEM, provided by licensed teachers with social and emotional learning. Students in 12-month programs, so District 75 or extended school year in non-specialized schools, or Nest and Horizon students will receive their IEP mandated special instruction and related services and social and emotional learning if they have enrolled in Summer Rising. If they have not enrolled in Summer Rising, they're still going to get their mandated services, but they may not necessarily go into the second part of Summer Rising, which is the enrichment piece. CBO, community-based organization staff, are going to be supporting teachers during academic instruction for kindergarten through 5th grade. And then for those students who have promotion and doubt, which is PID, and who are mandated for summer school, they will be automatically enrolled in the morning program. But again, you have to apply to do the enrichment portion of the day. So when in doubt, if you really want to participate in Summer Rising, unless you don't, you really have to apply. It is an optional program. But in the morning, this is what they're doing in the academics. And in the afternoon, you have the enrichment piece. So what is the enrichment piece? Think of it as like a fun part of the day. So like summer camp. So it's extended day services. They're provided by a community-based organization that's affiliated with the school. You have to enroll before the start of the summer. You have to apply and then accept the program, as I mentioned, by the 8th of May. It is, again, optional for students with 12-month IEPs or students who are mandated for summer school. So it's optional, completely optional. And it includes sports, games, arts, dance, and field trips and others. There is all-day enrichment on Friday, so it's for most students who receive academic instruction in the morning, mandated academic instructions in the morning. They will then continue to all-day enrichment on Friday, except for middle schoolers who are in extended school year or District 75 programming or the Nest Horizon programs. For those students, there's not going to be enrichment services on Friday because Friday is a full day enrichment day. How that looks like in terms of if the student is going to have to come home earlier if they have opted for the extended day option, or if they're going to be able to participate in any CBO-led programming on Fridays, I'm not entirely sure. So that is something that's probably best to address directly with the site once you know where your child is going to be going to summer rising. Okay. So what kind of trips does summer rising offer? So they go to zoos and aquariums and movies and museums and some of New York City's botanical gardens and parks and cruises and arcades and games. So they do a lot of really fun things during the year. And remembering that all of this is free, it's all included, along with breakfast and lunch and snack. So it is a pretty interesting deal. One piece to remember is that if your child needs a trip accommodation, and in the summer rising is required to offer trip accommodations, or they have to cancel the trip or reschedule the trip. So if you're concerned about trip accommodations for your child, this is something that is like central to the experience. So it's there is an assurance that it's either services will be offered, accommodations will be offered, or the trip entirely will be canceled so that everybody can participate equally. All right. So again, families have to apply between March 4th and March 28th. There is a results and wait list that's going to be available in my schools on April 24th. You must accept the offer again. I'll say this 1,000 times because we're really concerned about anybody losing a seat. And you'll be automatically placed on waiting list. Now this year, there is a clear sense of how the Department of Education is going to admit students to summer rising. There's placement by priority group, including students who are mandated for summer school who go first in the admissions process. Then students in temporary housing, students in foster care, students with 12-month IEPs, and students who are enrolled in the community-based organizations after school programs. I'm going to go through the admissions priorities in later in the presentation so that you can see who goes in first. But just know that, again, mandated summer school, extended school year, District 75 12-month programs are entitled to their mandated services. Summer rising is optional, so you do have to apply to summer rising if you want to go to summer rising if you're in these mandated programs. But you can also, if you have a child who's not in any of these programs, summer rising is only by application, so you really should remember to apply, I guess. All right, well, let's see, how do we apply? All right, so you apply online at myschools.nyc, which is the Department of Education's application app. There's a directory there. I'll show you in just a minute what it looks like. You can log in. If you don't have a login, then you create your account and you go to your dashboard and you add your child to your dashboard. And then you start looking at programs. Again, I'm going to show you in just a minute. I can add all the programs that you're interested in, except for students who are in District 75 or extended school year programs. They should only select programs that are located in their building or school site. And if they're not, no programs in their building or school site, then apply to some that are closer to your building or school site. Okay. There is a siblings preference in the My School app. The way it works is that if you're applying to the same program and your child are within the same band, that means from K to 5 or 6 to 8, then you can apply as siblings. But if you have a child that is going into the elementary school programming and another one going into the middle school programming, they're probably not going to be in the sibling category because they have to be within that same band. So all middle school or elementary school. Now it's an interesting twist here. If you have a current fifth grader, that current fifth grader can apply to K through 5 programs or 6 to 8 programs or K through 8 programs for both, so both middle and elementary school programs. So you have a little bit more choice. When we're talking about kindergarten through 8th grade, we're talking about current kindergarteners, current 5th graders, current 8th graders, okay? As a reminder, in past years, the demand for summarizing outpaced available seats. So a number of students last year, a good number of students last year ended up on waiting lists and not being able to come in. So it's a very sought after program. And the Department of Education has established a protocol now for waiting lists and priorities that should help clarify how to apply. Okay. And this is the admissions priority for summarizing. So first, affiliated students with promotion are in doubt or the siblings of such students. So the Department of Education is going to admit students into the different summarizing sites based on this admission priority. So first, they're going to allow students who are mandated. They're going to admit students who are mandated to participate in summer school because of their promotion and doubt. When they say affiliated students, we're talking about students who are either in the school who that is hosting the summarizing program or whose school is affiliated with the summarizing program. So some public schools are not going to host summarizing programs, but they will have affiliated schools. So the priority goes to the school that's affiliated with your home school. I'll show you where to find that information if it gets confusing. So first, promotion students with promotion and doubt, or the sibling of such students, remembering that you have to be in that band of K through 5 or 6 to 8 together applying to the same program. Then affiliated students with a 12-month IEP or their siblings. Then students in temporary housing or foster care or their siblings. Then affiliated low-income students, English language learners, students with disabilities who attend a DYCD program during the school year or sibling, and then other affiliated students who attend a DYCD program during the school year or their sibling. Next in line are those affiliated low-income students, English language learners, and students with disabilities or siblings, and then affiliated students, and then other low-income students, English language learners, students with disabilities or siblings, and then all other students. So the Department of Education is first going to admit to that program the promotion and doubt, then we're going to go to the second group, then we're going to go to the third group, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. A note for those of you who have current fifth graders and you want to have them apply to the sixth grade program, current 6th to 8th graders are going to be admitted first, following the priority groups that I discussed. If there are seats remaining, then at that point, eligible 5th graders will be admitted according to their priority order. Okay? It can get a little tricky. I'm happy to discuss this a little more later. But then how do you apply? So if you're not familiar with the My Schools page, this is what it looks like. And so 2 things to note. You can either log in or create a new account by clicking on these buttons. If you need the information translated into a different language that is not English, you can always go to this icon and select your preferred language, and that will translate the entire page for you into your preferred language. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to click on Summer Rising. And then it's going to take you to a page where you're going to enter your information. In this case, I entered the headquarters of Advocates for Children as the address, and these were the sites that came up. So if you take a look right here, this is where the headquarters for Advocates for Children is, and these are the affiliated summer sites that it's telling me that I can take a look at. All right, okay. In this case, I selected the Summer Rising program at 440 West 53rd Street just because it looked interesting. And then this is what it comes up with. All right. So it tells you a couple of things that you want to know. First of all, it tells you what the affiliated schools are. So if you're looking at this program and you're seeing that your school is listed as one of the affiliated schools for that program, then you know that you're higher on the priority list than other students for that specific program. And then you have to see where else in the priority list you might fall. Are you a student with do you have a student with a disability, an English language learner? Are you in temporary housing? Which priority group do you fall under? Down here, you'll see, sorry, let me just see if I, accessibility. If you need the school to be fully accessible, barrier-free, etc., or partially accessible, or if that's not a concern, these are things that you can take a look at. Finally, oops, right at the bottom, you can see the CBO that is attached to offer services for this school. So in this case, we have the Manhattan Youth Recreation and Resources. That's going to be offering services. But this will vary from school to school, and this may have changed since I created this presentation. The more information could have been added. So if you're looking at this specific site and you're concerned about it, you don't see enough programming, take a look at it later. Like I said, it might just be that I just took the screenshots a little bit earlier in the year. All right. So you applied and you ranked your summer rising sites in the order of your true preference on the My Schools account, in your My Schools account, and you got in. So then what happens? First, you have to accept by May 8th or lose your spot. Staying on accepting a spot does not remove you from a waiting list. So if you have ranked a site higher than sorry, I'm looking at my presentation and seeing that there's some information that I had added that is missing. It must not have updated. I'll send you a refreshed presentation when this goes out. So what's missing here is that there's an automatic, so that students are placed automatically on a wait list for schools that were ranked above the school that they received. So if you were offered the 5th school that you applied to, and you are allowed to apply to as many sites as you want, I'm sure there is some sort of limitation, typically 12, but the Department of Education has said apply to all that you are interested in. And so if you do get into a site and you have ranked others above that one that you were accepted into, you're automatically waitlisted for those. And that will appear on My Schools on April 24th. And what you do next is that you accept the spot that you were offered. You continue on those wait lists. You can also add other programs to the wait list once the application closes. So that if the application closed and you were unable to apply to a site and now you're interested in it, you can also add yourselves to a wait list after the fact. So that also is a possibility to increase your chances of getting a seat. So those are the two important pieces. One piece that we always say when we're speaking about applications to anything is please do not apply to a program that you're not interested in. Only apply to programs and sites where you truly would like your child to attend. So you accept your site, you're now waitlisted. In other sites, if there are others that you ranked higher than the one that you received, and then you're going to be receiving information from the CBO asking about current physicals, emergency contacts, like the traditional things that we expect from a summer program. Okay, I'll show you a packet in just a minute. For those students who are mandated for summer school or who have extended school year or District 75 12-month programming, those students should really apply to their own school or the affiliated site. If there is a different site where the student is going to receive those mandated services, the Department of Education is going to notify the parents in writing in advance if that changes. For the most part, please apply to your own school if you're mandated for summer school or if you have mandated services for the summer, okay? This is what, just an example of a CBO packet, so a community-based organization in this case, sends information about what to expect, the program rules, the information that they are requesting from the parents, information about attendance and discipline, contact information forms. So this is something that you will receive after accepting the site, understanding that you are still possibly on a waiting list and you might get additional possibilities if all goes well. I'm going to pause a second to see if there are any questions. Kim, are there any questions at this point?
No, you're good.
Okay. Let's talk about summarizing transportation. So who's eligible for transportation? First, I'll say that students with busing during the school year should be eligible for transportation. So students who have busing on their IEPs or a 504 accommodation that required busing, students in temporary housing or foster care who qualify for an exception, students who receive stop-to-stop busing during the regular school year, and for newly eligible students who are more than half a mile from summer rising site, they may be eligible for busing. And then the students who have Omni cards will continue to use them over the summer. Last year, there was the possibility for 6 p.m. busing, if I understand right. This year, that has changed. Busing for summer rising will only be available until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That is the last time when buses are going to be coming out. So how is that going to work? First, you want to take a look and check your status in your NYXA account, in New York City student account, to see what your busing status might be and to receive all information about your individual busing situation, all right? So you should get busing to and from the summer rising site unless there's a different accommodation requested, AM and PM, so in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. So who's eligible for that? Like I said, students in temporary housing, foster care, students with IEP mandated transportation from home or curb to school, depending on the situation, and then a new summer distance eligible from home. But it does not include the extended day. And again, the Department of Education is not going to bus after 6 o'clock. So what happens between 3 and 6 if you want your child to continue with the extended school services? For those students who are able to use the Omni card, who have been using those Omni cards before, then that will be the preferred method for them to get back home. For those students who are mandated for summer school, I'm sorry, for those students who are mandated to receive extended school year services, those students can get a prepaid ride share in the same way as they did last year. The student must be accompanied by an adult, and it includes a ride from work or home to the summer rising site for the parent. So it's 4 trips. Parent goes to the school, parent goes to the school, picks up the child, parents return then to home with the child. Voucher codes are going to be available automatically on your NICSA account. So if you're entitled to these services, that should appear on your NICSA account. If there's a problem, of course, you can reach out to us and we can help you try to figure out how to be able to do that. All right. So how do you request busing? So students who got busing during the school year are automatically going to be routed. But what happens if you move? If you move, so make sure your child updates. Make school to school. Make sure the school updates your child's address as soon as you know it. And if it's not an IEP mandated busing, you can complete an exceptions request form as soon as possible so that you can get that busing. Now you have to enroll in summer rising and have the correct address by May 13th to be guaranteed a bus route by July 2nd. You can get ride share for the students who move, who get busing and move after May 19th or over the summer. So there is also that possibility until a bus route is established, okay? And then can families get ride share if the student moves after May 13th or over the summer until busing is ready? Yes, like I said, students can get ride share for extended day 6 p.m. pickup. All right, so in some, remember the buses are only available until 3 o'clock, and then afterwards it's OmniCard or ride share for those eligible students. All right, let's see. And now let's talk a little bit about the specialized summer rising programs. It can get tricky. So first, students with 10-month IEPs should receive a summer rising accommodation plan, which is a description of, it's a plan that's developed by the homeschool based on the IEP services that are recommended for the student, that are mandated for the student. It should reflect the services that the student needs, such as paraprofessionals, nursing, services, etc. And that should be provided by the school to the parent and to the summer rising site. They're usually developed between May and June, so you won't be seeing any accommodation plan just yet, all right? The nurses and paraprofessionals can be offered for the full day. So it depends on what your child's specific needs are. So one-on-one nurses and health paraprofessionals are provided for the full summer rising day. So if a student has a 10-month IEP, now goes to the summer rising program, not mandated for the summer, so they're going to the summer rising program, they should get their nurses or health paraprofessionals during the entire day of summer rising. Behavior support paraprofessionals are available during the academic portion only and as needed during enrichment. We're not sure what that means, so it might just be on a case-by-case basis, but if the student needs the support, they should be able to get their behavioral support paraprofessionals, all right? If you need other supports, request them in writing as soon as you know what they are. Students with 12-month IEPs. So these are students who are mandated to attend school, or rather who have mandated summer programming based on their individualized education programs or IEPs, all right? So for District 75 or extended school year or ASD Nest Horizon programs that extend 12 months, they're going to either have their IEP program, so only their IEP program, or they can also have their IEP program plus the enrichment until 6 o'clock with priority admission. They get a priority in admission as we discussed earlier. So if you want only the IEP program, you're not interested in the afternoon enrichment program, summer rising program, you will apply. I'm sorry, you don't have to apply. You just contact your child's school to arrange for the services as you would normally do. But if you're interested in the IEP program, so the morning program that is mandated, and the enrichment section offered by Summer Rising, you have to apply using My Schools. You rank the program in the morning at the morning location so they can stay at the same site. But if that location is not an option, you can rank other affiliated sites, and the Department of Education will, quote, aim to offer transportation, right? Remember, busing is only available until 3 o'clock. Ride share is available after. All right. And what does a individual summer racing accommodation plan look like? We're not sure. This is one from 2022. This is the one that we could find. This is one that we could find that was the most recent. I'm sure they kind of look the same. It just checks off a couple of boxes and tells you where the summer racing location is going to be, what services, what under what plan is the student receiving the services. So is it a 504 plan, an IEP, or is it a medical? Uh, 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 Now I have totally blanked on the word. I'm so sorry. Is it a medical plan, a behavior intervention plan, etc.? And then the type of accommodation required, paraprofessional or health paraprofessional, or a paraprofessional to help with ambulation or nursing. And when are these services going to be offered? During the Department of Education programming, and or during the DYCD enrichment programming during the afternoon session. And it should have a brief description of what services are going to be offered, why, and how, okay? And by whom also. For English language learners, Summer Rising also will offer support. So for multilingual learners in grades K through 8 who are participating in Summer Rising, they will have their curriculum, their morning curriculum and student-centered options in the morning, and they will participate in afternoon enrichment with the CBOs, but they will also receive instruction targeting language and literacy development, and access to grade level content through an integrated English as a new language, co-teaching or standalone instructional model over the summer. It could be small group instruction, or it could be one-to-one support for the multilingual learners and English language learners, okay? It depends on what the school is offering and your child or the child's specific needs. Bit of a detour, let's talk a bit about charter schools. So Summer Rising is available to any New York City resident who is K through 5 this year, I'm sorry, K through 8 this year in a public, private, or charter school. So anyone can apply. But charter school students also have a different option. They can apply to Summer Rising, or they can apply to Summer Boost, which is a charter school centered program that is not through the Department of Education. It has different application processes. You would have to check to see if your charter school is offering Summer Boost, and if you prefer one or the other. You can certainly apply to both. So whatever your preference is, you can only enroll in one program though, so you can't enroll in two. By March 14th, you should apply. So the deadline is coming pretty soon. You should take a look at the Summer Boost website, which is linked here, for more information. All right, so let's talk about problem solving. All right, so first you start with the school, parent coordinator and the CBO site director, and then you go up the chain of command at the Department of Education. You can email summers@schools.nyc.gov. I will add that this email address is also good if you have questions about some aspect of Summer Rising that you can't find information about. You can also contact the superintendent's office. You can contact us for assistance at either call us on our website. I'll give you our number again in just a bit. Or you can email us at info@advocatesforchildren.org, info@afcnyc.org. Okay. A reminder that free, no need to sign up, no ID required. Summer meals are available to children under the 18 who are not attending Summer Rising. Summer Rising already provides breakfast, lunch, and snacks. But if your child is not attending Summer Rising, you can go to one of the free summer meal locations, which are not just at the Department of Education's website, Department of Education's school sites, but also at parks and pools. I have not seen the summer meals locations updated for this year, but it should be updated pretty soon. Just know that that is also an option. And then something happens, you didn't get into summer rising, or you're not interested in summer rising and you want to take a look at other free or low cost summer programs. Inside Schools has a pretty good list. It's linked here. And we also have some other summer camp resources that are available that a staff member at Advocates for Children has been updating and maintaining. By all means, this is not an exhaustive list, but it is helpful for those of you who are looking for different alternatives. And now wrapping up a little bit, let's talk in sum. Just a reminder, summer rising is optional and by application. So if you're interested in summer rising, you must apply. Every current kindergarten through 8th grader in New York City can apply, but seats are not guaranteed for all. If you're mandated for summer, District 75 promotion endowed extended school year, you apply to your school's summer rising or closest affiliated site, if not at the home school. And if you're not interested in summer rising, just go contact the school directly for your mandated program. And then for charter schools, you get either summer boost or summer rising, one or the other, not both. So you can apply to both, or you can only select one. If you're not mandated for summer services, apply to the sites you're interested in. Please do not apply to a site that you're not interested in. And then finally, if you have an IEP and you're not mandated for summer services, you have a 10-month IEP, you can get an individualized accommodation plan that should offer the supports that you need to be able to participate in the academic portion of the program, and on a need basis, of course, in the enrichment part. Remember that there are admissions priorities, so be a little strategic when you're looking at how and where to apply, including taking a look at the affiliated sites and whether you are in one of the, in which group you are in terms of the admission priorities of the Department of Education. Rank everything in your true preference. So place your favorite program as number one, and then go down the list until you are done applying. And once more, I'll say it again, do not apply to a program that you're not interested in. And I think that's all that we have for today. I will pause the recording now to take live questions, and we hope that this was helpful, and we wish you a very happy and prosperous summer.